Here's a little story from Idaho, dusty little Idaho. Might be hard to miss. Most of you would never have seen this story. It's indicative of many things. This is from the Idaho Press Tribune and can also be found online in very similar format through a number of other Idaho and a couple of national publications. www.idahopress.com. Okay, I'm just actually, whoa, okay. Oh, must be a radioactive article. I'm just showing you this story because I do believe it's quite indicative of many things that we see going on. Thursday, July 19th, 2012. Updated a little later. DOE may miss deadline for Idaho waste cleanup. DOE may miss deadline for Idaho waste cleanup. No hurry, no worries. It's just radioactive waste. Why should there be any concern about meeting a deadline? Idaho Falls, Idaho, AP Wire Service. U.S. Department of Energy officials say the agency will likely miss its deadline for cleaning up radioactive liquid waste at the Idaho National Idaho National Laboratory. The INL is east of the Sawtooth toward Idaho Falls, and it's on the Snake River Plain near the Snake River Aquifer. Many locals are incredibly suspicious, with, I'm sure, good reason, of what goes on at the INL. U.S. Department of Energy officials say the agency will likely miss, right? Its deadline for cleaning up radioactive liquid waste at the Idaho National Laboratory. Just reiterating. Tom D'Agostino, excuse me, sir, if I didn't pronounce that right, the DOE's Nuclear Security Undersecretary, told the Post-Register, here's the link to the original story, Wednesday that the department won't have all 900,000 gallons of sodium-bearing waste removed by December 31st because a facility built to package the waste isn't yet operational. A settlement agreement between the federal government and the state of Idaho requires that all liquid waste at the eastern Idaho site be removed from tanks above the eastern Snake River Plain aquifer by 2013. Parenthetically, let me add this is really close to the craters of the moon area. This is an old volcanic area. What do we know from Dutch about nuclear sites and fracking and EQs and nuclear sites and volcanic areas? Plumes. In 2007, the DOE began building the $571 million integrated waste treatment unit to condense the radioactive liquid, into a powder similar to laundry detergent that would then be stored on site. But a filter at the facility was clogged with non-radioactive material in June. Surprise. And contractor CH2M Idaho, this is actually CH2M Hill, having to do with mining and military. It's still working to diagnose and correct the problem. Until it's fixed, the building will remain shut down. D'Agostino said the facility will be up and running soon. Once it is, he said, processing the 900,000 gallons of waste will go quickly. He said, we are committed to getting this job done. We might miss the benchmark by a couple of months. We might miss it by half a year. But if we miss it, But if we miss it, we will have gotten the job done. But if we miss it, we will have gotten the job done. Maybe you'll want to read that one again. Jim Cooper, the DOE's deputy manager for the cleanup project, said liquid waste poses a greater environmental risk than solid waste. Remember, it's nuclear waste. Once the waste is converted into a dry powder, it will be placed in stainless steel canisters and then into concrete vaults. No fines will be levied if the deadline's missed, Cooper said, and the INL won't receive any shipments of spent nuclear fuel until all of the liquid waste is converted into a solid form. The department is ahead of schedule on a separate cleanup deadline set for 2023, Cooper noted. Information from Post Register, http://www.postregister.com. I'm just making a note of this story for posterity.